It was supposed to be just another day on set. The crew was ready, the cameras were rolling, and Kim Go-eun, ever the professional, was fully immersed in her role. But no one could have predicted the moment that followed. A sudden, terrifying collapse. Panic spread through the production like wildfire. And before anyone could even finish dialing emergency services, one name was already on everyone's lips. Lee Min-ho. Before we continue, make sure to hit that subscribe button if you're a fan of Kim Go-eun, Lee Min-ho, or their undeniable connection. Turn on the notification bell so you never miss a moment of their journey, on or off screen. Now let's dive into what really happened that day, and the emotional aftermath that's left fans both heartbroken and deeply moved. The drama they were filming was intense. Kim Go-eun had been working long hours, often staying past midnight, pouring everything she had into her performance. Insiders said she barely slept, always reviewing scripts, always giving 110%. She didn't complain. She didn't rest. She just kept going, until her body had enough. According to multiple witnesses on set, the collapse was sudden and shocking. Kim Go-eun had just finished filming an emotional crying scene. She was supposed to walk off camera, sit down, and take a water break. But instead, her knees buckled. She fell forward. Crew members rushed in, shouting her name. The director called for medics. A production assistant ran for water. But she wasn't responding. Panic set in. Paramedics were called immediately. The filming was halted. The set went from controlled professionalism to pure chaos. And then someone whispered, "Call Lee Min-ho." What happened next proves that no matter what anyone says, Lee Min-ho's connection to Kim Go-eun runs deeper than anyone imagined. Lee Min-ho was in the middle of a scheduled promotional shoot across town. His team was on strict time frames. Makeup artists, photographers, and brand executives surrounded him. But the moment he got the call about Kim Go-eun, everything stopped. He didn't ask for permission. He didn't wait for instructions. He told his manager, "I need to go. Now." And without hesitation, he got in his car and sped toward the hospital. Multiple eyewitnesses later confirmed that Lee Min-ho arrived at the emergency room in under an hour. Some even said he drove himself. And when he walked through those hospital doors, he looked pale, shaken, but determined. At that point, Kim Go-eun had been stabilized. The doctors said it was a combination of exhaustion, dehydration, and stress. But she was still unconscious when Lee Min-ho arrived. And the moment he stepped into her room, something shifted. Hospital staff reported that he didn't say a word. He just walked quietly to her side, took her hand, and sat down. He didn't leave her side for hours. Not even when his agency called, asking him to return to the shoot. Not even when the press began to gather outside. Because to Lee Min-ho, nothing else mattered. One nurse later shared anonymously. He sat there and kept whispering her name. He brushed her hair back and kept saying, "You're okay now. I'm here." The room, once filled with medical chatter, fell silent. It became a sacred space, a place of quiet comfort between two people who clearly meant the world to each other. And then, just before sunrise, Kim Go-eun stirred. Her eyes fluttered open. She looked confused, tired. But the first person she saw was Lee Min-ho, still holding her hand, still watching over her. And in that moment, her lips curved into the faintest smile. She whispered something only he could hear. But whatever it was, it made him tear up. For fans, the news of the hospital incident broke the next morning. But by then, Lee Min-ho and Kim Go-eun's agencies had already issued vague statements. "She is recovering well," they said. "There is no cause for concern." But fans weren't satisfied. Because it wasn't just the collapse, it was Lee Min-ho's reaction. His absence from the brand shoot had been noticed. His team's canceled schedules raised eyebrows. And soon, photos of him entering and leaving the hospital began to circulate online. And that's when the fanbase erupted. Hashtag Lee Go-eun trended for 2 straight days. Support poured in from all over the world. Messages like "Get well soon, Queen," and "Protect her at all costs" flooded social media. But what really grabbed everyone's attention were the subtle gestures that followed. Just days later, Kim Go-eun posted a soft message on Instagram. "Sometimes, strength is letting yourself rest. Thank you for the ones who never left my side." No photo, just those words. But fans knew exactly who she meant. Then, in a surprise move, Lee Min-ho reposted a quote on his own story. "Real love shows up, not when it's easy, but when it's hardest. Notad, no kapstin." Just that. The timing was too perfect. The message too pointed. Behind the scenes, sources revealed that Lee Min-ho stayed close during Kim Go-eun's recovery. He sent her favorite food. He arranged for her home to be filled with flowers. And once she was discharged from the hospital, he personally ensured that she had private security, so the press wouldn't swarm her. One anonymous source said, "He didn't leave anything to chance. He wanted to make sure she was okay completely." But perhaps the most touching part of all was what happened when filming resumed. A week after her collapse, Kim Go-eun returned to set. The staff expected her to be cautious, quiet, reserved. But instead, she walked in smiling and holding a thermos. Not just any thermos, one that had "fighting" written on it with a little lion sticker. And everyone knows. Lee Min-ho often refers to her as lion-hearted in private for her courage and strength. It didn't end there. During filming breaks, Kim Go-eun and Lee Min-ho were spotted sitting together more often than usual. He kept checking on her, offering her snacks, making her laugh. One behind-the-scenes camera even caught the moment where he casually tucked a blanket around her shoulders when she dozed off in her chair. The way he looked at her, protective, soft, deeply personal. That's when fans knew. This wasn't just concern between co-stars. This was something more, something real. And while neither has confirmed anything romantic publicly, the lines between fiction and reality have never felt blurrier. Because the actions, they speak louder than any statement. Even industry insiders, who usually keep tight-lipped, began to murmur about their closeness. One assistant director was quoted saying, "Whatever they have, it's built on trust, on loyalty." When she fell, he didn't hesitate. That says everything. And maybe that's the lesson in all of this. In an industry filled with schedules, contracts, cameras, and chaos, it's easy to forget that behind the glitter are real people. People who care, who hurt, who fall, and who show up for each other when it matters most. For Kim Go-eun, it took a moment of weakness to reveal a deeper truth. And for Lee Min-ho, it was never about public image or fan service. It was about being there for someone he truly cares about, whether it's love, deep friendship, or something unspoken between them. One thing is clear. When she needed him most, he dropped everything and showed up. And that's a love story no drama could ever fully capture. Thank you so much for watching this emotional update. If you were touched by Lee Min-ho's quiet devotion or Kim Go-eun's incredible strength, let us know in the comments. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more heartfelt celebrity moments and behind-the-scenes truths. Until next time, stay kind, stay curious, and remember, sometimes the greatest stories are the ones lived off camera. But what makes this story truly unforgettable isn't just the romance. It's the quiet reminder of something deeply human. Even the brightest stars can burn out if no one's watching out for them. And even in the whirlwind world of lights, scripts, and cameras, there's space, just enough, for real care to bloom. The days that followed saw Lee Min-ho becoming more open than ever before. While he didn't directly address the rumors swirling around their relationship, fans noticed subtle changes. He started showing up more often on set, even on days when he wasn't filming. Sometimes he'd bring coffee for the crew. Other times he was simply there, close to Kim Go-eun, quiet, watching, protective. One video that went viral showed Lee Min-ho holding an umbrella over Kim Go-eun while they waited between takes. It wasn't raining heavily, but he insisted. She smiled up at him, trying to take the umbrella, but he shook his head, keeping it positioned above her. The caption on the fan-uploaded video read, "Not all heroes wear capes. Some hold umbrellas." More fans began noticing how he would gently guide her through crowds or shield her from camera flashes during press appearances. These weren't just co-stars acting. These were two people connected by something stronger than a contract. Then came an even more emotional moment. A few weeks later, at a private dinner held to celebrate the success of their drama, the cast and crew gathered. Speeches were made. Toasts were raised. When it was Lee Min-ho's turn to speak, he stood up, looked around, and thanked everyone for their hard work. But then he paused, turned toward Kim Go-eun, and said, "Some people show up just for the scene. Others show up even when the cameras aren't rolling. You did that. And when you couldn't stand, I knew it was my turn." The room fell silent. Kim Go-eun looked up at him, visibly moved. She blinked fast, clearly fighting back tears. But there was a soft smile on her face. Later that evening, a leaked photo surfaced. It wasn't a press shot. It was taken quietly,